Hello and welcome to the Sharp 600, brought to you by Covers.com, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm your host, Jason Logan. Happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate, or just happy Week 13 if you're outside of the U.S. But we've got a busy schedule. It starts Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday. Helping me to break it all down is the gravy on my mashed potatoes, Mr. Todd Furman. Todd, I have a very important question to ask you here ahead of Week 13.
Hopefully I am ready for it, and I have an important follow-up question to ask you, but I'll give you the honors out of the tee box.
All right, stuffing or no stuffing?
Oh, I'm pro stuffing. Now,
nice.
The bigger question with stuffing is, do you like the box variety? Do you like it cooked in the actual bird? So there are so many different varieties, but I am always pro stuffing. You just can't make sure that it's undercooked enough so it doesn't dry out if you have to microwave it or zap it a little bit.
Sure. I'm not picky with my stuffing. I'll eat a stovetop stuffing up for dinner. No problem. Go back
fair.
to the college days.
No, the question I have for you, though, I mean, with three NFL games on an American Thanksgiving holiday, I mean, does that create a de facto Canadian holiday on that Thursday? Or does productivity just go down for NFL fans north of the border?
I think some guys actually do celebrate it. Like Andrew Cayley does a big Thanksgiving spread, our colleague there at Covers. But I think it's more just it saps the productivity. I try to get everything done on Thursday before those games kick off. And, of course, being a Cowboys fan, I've always got something going on for the Thursday. So good or bad.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not sure it's always a blessing to have the Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving. But we digress completely. At least a manageable matchup on paper this year for your Cowboys in a game that I know everybody has circled on their calendars.
Yeah. So before we start the clock here on Week 13, we asked that if you like what we're doing here in the podcast and you want to show some thanks, that tends to go around this time of year, please rate and review the podcast or like and subscribe if you watch us each week on YouTube. We appreciate that. We thank you for that. All right, so we've got 4 days of NFL gambling goodness to come. Let's go. 600 seconds on the clock. All right, Thanksgiving time for appreciation, but much like passing around the plate at the dinner table, you tend to lean towards your favorites here. And Todd, I'm going to pass around some NFL bets, and you can say thanks or you can say no thanks to these wagers. Buffalo Bills to win the AFC, it's plus 290. Is that a thanks or a no thanks from you?
I'm going to go no thanks here, Jason, because I think there's going to be a better way to attack Buffalo. My biggest concern with the Bills, if things break the right way, they could have the division sewn up as early as Sunday night. And I worry about teams losing their edge this far out. So no thanks on the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to take a little scoop of the thanks there. I at least like their schedule better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs still have the Chargers and the Texans. They go to Pittsburgh. They go to Denver. There's some tough games. The Bills have, a Week 15 trip to Detroit. And then the rest is pretty much gravy. So I think they could inch past KC, maybe get that home field edge for the AFC Championship game. Let's go Seattle Seahawks to win the NFC West, plus 175. Little thanks or no thanks?
I'll actually go thanks here at plus 175. I know we talked about the muddled mess that was the NFC West. We made a slight case for the Seahawks being live dogs at around 5-1, and it's a group that may be trending up. Now, potential landmine this week going across the country against the Jets, but I think Seattle at least knows who they are, which is more than I can say about the other three teams they're competing with in the division.
See, I say no thanks to this one. I like Arizona. They had a bad game last game, but they're playing good two-way football. And then San Francisco's not that far behind. Plus 600 on San Francisco to still get right and win this division.
They gotta get
everybody
healthy
on the road, so there could be some, a lot of losses. I don't know if it's going to really shake things up in the division this week. Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make the playoffs. Even money, plus 100. Thanks, no thanks.
Thanks on this, and I think if you're a little bit frisky, you should be willing to maybe nibble on the Bucs to win the NFC South. I mean, this is a team whose schedule you talk about being paper soft. That's the definition. Not thrilling for someone who bet their win total under 8.5 before the year. Watch them go 4-6 into the bye, but the schedule just too favorable. Again, a team that's getting healthier on the offensive side. And Jason, they finally figured out that Bucky Irving is the best back. It makes the team that much more dynamic in terms of offensive big play production.
And he got in for a touchdown for you last week, of course.
It's about the only thing I've done right over the last 6 weeks in this fine program.
Hey, we celebrate the wins. Joe Burrow to lead the league in passing, plus 130. A thanks or no thanks on this one?
This is interesting because I do think there's a path, but the number is a little bit short. So I'll go no thanks. I do wonder what this Bengals team looks like in their final 6 games. Maybe they go 6-0. Maybe they surprise all of us. But I'll go no thanks. Chase Brown will cut into that workload some.
Okay. All right. So, like I mentioned, we have 4 weekday games. So let's touch them all, Todd. Let's start. Bears and Lions. Any bets that you like for this game? Any analysis?
I'm actually on the Bears here. Grab some 10.5. Still think you're fine taking them at plus 10. It's wild to see how the market is pricing the Bears. You look at their performance the last couple of weeks. They went to the mat with two division rivals, and the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Yes, I know the Vikings fine, a little bit misleading. And Detroit, they're the talk of the town, an ATS juggernaut. But this just feels like a big number. And Jason, it was only 1 year ago. The Lions came in. They stubbed their toe, weren't ready to go. I think the Bears hang around for 4 quarters. I'll take the divisional dog catching double digits.
All right. I took Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's minus 120. He had a 0 touchdown day last Sunday, and it kind of anchors the juice on the over here. But let's not forget, he threw 4 touchdown passes in the game prior. He gets to come back inside the fast track of Ford Field. He's had 7 multi-TD games over his last 9 outings. Big spread, big total. Game script says he's going to be chucking it. Player projections all well above the 1.5. Mine close to 2. So I like Jared Goff to throw at least 2 touchdown passes there on Thursday. Let's go Giants and Cowboys. What do you got in this one?
This is a game sure to give people indigestion, so make sure you keep the Pepto-Bismol close by. I actually think the Giants are live underdogs, relatively speaking here. I just don't think Dallas should be more than a field goal favorite against anyone. And Jason, you know how we look at situational analysis. 2 teams at opposite ends of the spectrum. Cowboys fresh off an upset win as a double-digit dog. The Giants were embarrassed by the Bucks, and maybe a slight upgrade with Drew Lock. Giants plus the points. Would not be shocked if the Giants win this game outright.
All right. I went Giants under their team total of 16.5 points. I just don't see how they're getting over this. And like you said, it might be Drew Lock. I don't know if they have a quarterback that can throw it past the sticks. And don't be fooled by Dallas's defense, okay? They looked pretty bad in the final 3 minutes, but they held Washington to 9 points for 57 minutes before all hell broke loose. The pass rush is getting going. Parsons back. Giants O-line dinged up too. Could be missing their 2 starting right tackles for an offensive line that's already depleted. The last one on Thursday, Dolphins, Packers. What do you like in this one, Todd?
Narrative be damned. Give me the Finns as a fish out of water on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. We're going to hear about the frigid temperatures all week long, but no Romeo Doubs for the Green Bay Packers. And don't be fooled by the scoreboard cosmetics. Green Bay wasn't a 38-10 winner against the 49ers last week. A little bit of smoke and mirrors. I think this Dolphins team is trending up. Do shop around. Make sure you're not taking a price less than 3.5. I like the Finns on Thursday night.
I did take Green Bay 3 on early on. So, but I took Josh Jacobs, the running back, over 71.5 rushing yards. Miami's defense dinged up in the front 7. Some key run stoppers could be missing this game on the short week. And Jacobs really finding his form in this offense now. He's made the Cheeseheads a top 6 team in terms of rushing EPA per carry. And their play calling, too, really leaning towards the run. This is the second most heavy run playbook over the last 3 games. All the projections for Jacobs north of this number, some at 80, some at 84. I want to find out if the Dolphins really hate the cold, you run it on them and you make them pay for getting in the way of that running back. Finally, on Friday, Raiders and Chiefs. What do you like here?
You know, I wish I had strong convictions on this game. I'd be looking at Patrick Mahomes to go over his touchdown pass number. Low total there, though, so not a ton of wiggle room. And we'll see if the Raiders can actually push the Chiefs. This total's been bet down a touch from 44 to 42. Jason, there's a chance that you may get reps under center for the silver and black.
Possibly. I'm going with Brock Bowers over 6.5 receptions here. Aiden O'Connell looks like he's coming back. And when he was in, we saw Bowers' targets really tick up. He had 12, 10, 14 targets. He caught 8, 9, and 10 receptions with O'Connell under center in October. And then when he got injured, his involvement dropped off. He only had 5 catches against the Chiefs the last time out. His reception total at 6.5 just isn't really an accurate reflection of the QB change here. I think there's an error in that. And then we, of course, Vegas facing on a very aggressive Kansas City pass rush, so he's going to be checking down to the tight end. And we all remember that the Chiefs give up a lot of yards, the second most receptions when it comes to the tight end position. So I like Brock Bowers over 6.5 receptions there on this Friday afternoon game.
I like it.
All right, time for some touchdown anytime props. Todd, what do you like?
You know, can I vent here, Jason? Kevontae Turpin, touchdowns in back-to-back weeks.
Tell me about
3 weeks
it.
after, we
Nick
gave
Chubb.
out the price at 6-1.
Goddamn Nick Chubb.
It's incredible. So this week, I'm going to do what I almost did last week, and that was pick Trey McBride for anytime touchdown, steered clear. But I think this is the week he finds pay dirt as a receiver. I'll take the price at 2-1. You look at the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to heat up Kyler Murray early and often, which means Trey McBride becomes the beneficiary. He has become the high-volume receiver, the check down guy. I think he has an opportunity to find the paint this weekend.
All right, I'm going with Mike Evans, plus 125. Evans made his return to the Bucs lineup last week. Pretty light day, 5 catches, 68 yards. Didn't have to do much. They blew the Giants out of the water. He only played 60% of snaps. However, gets to shake that rust off and now takes on Carolina, a team he has just tortured throughout his career. 11 career touchdowns against the Panthers. And if you look at the Week 13 player projections, he is the one receiver that is expected to find the end zone across all of those forecasts, yet he's priced at plus money as bookies kind of sleep in his return, so plus 125 touchdown anytime. It's 2-minute drill time, and that means our best bets for NFL Week 13. Todd, honors are yours.
So last week I backed the Arizona Cardinals, +1. They closed a 1.5-point favorite, then forgot that Kyler Murray can't pick apart a man-to-man defense, and it didn't end well. But you know what, Jason? I am not going to be spurned again. I'm going right back to that same well and backing Arizona here. This is an optimal spot to buy low on the Cardinals. Yes, I wish I could have had 4 in the betting market here, but Kyler should have some success navigating against the blitz. And this Minnesota team, who's been away for what feels like an eternity, comes home. You got the honey-do list and everything else. I think Minnesota falls flat. Give me Arizona plus the points.
I did bet Arizona +4, and I'm also taking Arizona Unite. This is a good team. And since week 8, this has been a top 10 team in both EPA for and against. The defense playing at a very high level too, especially the pass rush. And that's something that doesn't bode well for Sam Darnold, who has found himself on his back way too often. Arizona's offense is a nice balance of run and pass. You've got mobile Kyler Murray. You look at the Vikings. They haven't played a good quarterback in a long, long time. Murray is the best QB they've seen in a while. So I'm with you on the Cardinals.
Hey, you know what? For my second best bet, it is Thanksgiving week, so we have to go to a battle of the birds between the Eagles and the Ravens for the marquee game of the week. And I'm going to take the home team. I know it's a short week for Baltimore traveling west to east, but Philadelphia played the night before in that exact same building. And the one thing the Ravens do well, they stop the run. If they can sell out and make the Eagles one-dimensional if Devontae Smith isn't available, I think it sets up well for the Ravens defense to be able to clamp down on Philly, and I think their offense will have success. I'll lay the 3 with the home team.
All right, going with a little player prop action here. Derek Carr over 214.5 passing yards. It's -114. The Saints host the Rams and their piss poor pass defense, and they're playing on the fast track of the Superdome. And Carr coming off the bye week, he's kind of been hampered by injuries all to the start of the 2024 season. He's put up solid numbers the last 2 weeks, and the player projections for Week 13 are like 250 plus. I bet the over 46.5 in this game. It is ticked up a full field goal to 49.5. It smells like shootout. Derek Carr over 214.5 passing yards. That number is way too low.
Taysom Hill anytime.
Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, add that to the list. All right, that is a wrap for the Thanksgiving edition of the Sharp 600 podcast. Big thank you to Dell. Big thank you to Todd. A big thanks to Joe O for filling in last week. Big thanks to FanDuel Sportsbook. And, of course, thank you to you for taking the time on your holiday week to listen in. As always, we ask that you do take a moment, rate, review, like, subscribe. All the fixins. Do all the fixins. That would really help the podcast as well. Todd, you want to say a little Thanksgiving gambling grace here before we go?
I mean, this is the week where the public will have their say in the betting market. People are spending quality time with their families, loved ones, and family members they don't like. So they want to get a little bit more skin in the game. So sometimes if you want to back these dogs, you can wait it out a little bit longer than you normally would, because it is fascinating to see the market dynamics in play this weekend, more so than maybe any other weekend on the NFL calendar.
All right, we will be back next Wednesday for Week 14 and that home stretch of the season. But until then, best of luck with your bets and happy Thanksgiving. Hey, NFL fans, you can make every moment more this season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Never waste a hunch at FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in D.C. First online real money wager, only $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets will expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800 327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.